Gov Shack is a little old place where we can get together. Gov Shack, baby. A Gov Shack, baby.
Oh, welcome to the Gov Shack, everybody. So happy to have you guys with me this evening. Yes, it's at 7 p.m. Some of you are like, Larry, I thought Gov Shack was at 8. Well, yes, it usually is, but people started complaining, why is Gov Shack different than the other shows? And you were right. I heard you and I listened. I gave you a little snarkiness, but I changed. So take the snarkiness. I did change though. So yes, so now Gov Shack is at 7 p.m. as the other shows tend to be. So I'm trying to make sure that we have some stability. It isn't much, but I'll give you what I can. It does matter, guys. This is, of course, a pitch. This is, of course, a fundraiser. This is, of course, a chat regarding my governor's race, which I am rocking and rolling still. Some of you are like, are you still doing this? Yes, I am still doing it. I have not quit yet. I am rocking and rolling because I never quit. For those you don't know, I don't. And if you want to support me, you can. LarrySharpe.com/donate is the thing to go to donate, to support me. I have already submitted all my paperwork for last quarter, and I'm happy to let you all know that we did break 6 figures. Yes, we did. We broke 6 figures. Very happy, very proud of that. We did break 6 figures. It is official. Very happy. I'm not going to tell you that what we got. You'll have to wait. But yes, we did break 6 figures. Absolutely very happy that happened. For those who don't know, I usually raise a lot of money when I run. I've raised over $500,000 twice before. It will take more than that this time too. So many of you who supported me, thank you. It does matter. I couldn't have done it without you. I appreciate everything we've done. We are rocking and rolling, and we are looking at making many good things happen. If you want to support, please do so. During this show, if you want to super chat me, you can. You must go to LarrySharpe.com/super chat. Can't super chat here. This is YouTube. Can't do that stuff. It's not how it works. So you can instead, though, go ahead and super chat me there. And if it comes on time, it doesn't always come on time. If it comes on time, I will do it. If not, I will do it next show. So I will get your super chat either this one or next one, but I will do so. If you would like some goodies, you may. LarrySharpe.com/shop. You can get a hoodie, a cup, a shirt, a bumper sticker, whatever the case may be. We like all of them, but no matter what, please click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. As you know, I've had to cut my marketing in half. Half is on Sharpeway, my show. Half is on Larry Sharpe. I must keep them separate. CFEC, don't get in my rear end. This is what I'm doing, what you told me to do. I'm separating it, so we're all good. All right, tonight, what did I want to chat about? What I want to chat about is something kind of important. Today, for those who don't know, is MLK Day. Yes, except in Arizona, I think. Anyway, so it is MLK Day. And so what does that mean? Well, in theory, what that means is we should be talking about MLK and his legacy or something like that. But not if you're Kathy Hochul, governor of New York. No. This is not how to do that. No. What you want to do if you're Kathy Hochul, the woman who says she loves black people. I mean, she has told me that more than once. So, excuse me. She said she loves black people. But when the time comes, she doesn't show it. She said she's going to help black people to swim. She said black people don't know what a computer is. That's what she told me. But she also told me that she loves black people more than everyone else. Not so sure that's true. Why? She went to deliver some remarks on MLK Day, and she said some stuff that didn't sound like she loved black people so much. And she used it to do something that sounded horrible, and you're going to be shocked. She used it to campaign? True. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Listen up and you tell me.
Thank you, everyone here for joining us in this celebration.
It's a celebration.
The rightful king.
So she leads. This, by the way, is MLK Day. She doesn't lead with, hey, hello, everybody. This is a black music thing. Let's talk about black music or something, or the value of art in the black community, or anything she might say. No. She starts with, doesn't Trump suck?
Dr. King represented justice.
True.
The king that I know represented hope of a better future.
See that? That's nice. I like
the
that.
The king that we know showed us a path forward. The king that we know stood up and rejected the status quo and said we will continue the march for civil rights and justice for as long as it takes.
And what's funny is she's not wrong with things that he said, but that was literally 60 years ago, right? So 60 years ago, he did say that. And what has she done to fix that? Oh, right, nothing. But she'll show up and say some things.
What a difference from the self-appointed king we have in the United States of America today.
We don't need a king, we got a queen. Yes, so I want to be clear. She starts that way. She shows up in front of black people on MLK Day and says, don't you guys hate Trump? I'm rarely insulted. You guys know this. I'm a little insulted that that's what you're talking about. So you use this to promote yourself for this year. And it's not, she doesn't get, like, she doesn't read the room. Like, she doesn't go, wait a minute, they're not like clapping. Look, don't get me wrong. Most black people do not like Trump. That's true. Most don't. He doesn't have the majority of the black vote. That's true. But there's a chunk of black people who either like Trump or don't care. Either way. Why would you show up on MLK Day and go, Trump sucks, am I right? That's what she just did. Why would you do that?
Oh, yeah, I'm not happy. 1 year ago, during this celebration, we talked about the legacy of Dr. King and what it means for our lives today and how we're living.
Why won't you do that now? That's right. 1 year ago, you did that. You could do that again, considering you're back here and it's MLK Day, and you could use your I hate Trump stuff when you're campaigning. You could do that, but maybe we're not gonna.
Lifting families up, those in poverty, those in prison, those who seek justice, and what that means back in 2025.
Okay.
1 year later, the threats that we have seen coming out of Washington.
See that? I'm not campaigning. Andrea says, how hypocritical of her stating MLK was against the status quo when she's the epitome of the status quo. She is literally the poster child of the status quo. Correct. MLK will be against her. Literally right now. MLK will be like, what? MLK will be against her right now. That's true. Yes. 100%.
Again, a self-appointed king, fly in the face of everything that Dr. Martin Luther King ever stood for and shed blood for.
So Trump is everything that MLK, against everything MLK stood for and shed blood for. Not her, not the establishment, not that. It's just Trump. So if it wasn't for Trump, so you guys don't know this, if it wasn't for Trump, there'd be no need for King. There'd be no need. Now, if you were to sit here, and this would be something worthy, if you could sit up here and go, hey, the establishment has failed MLK Jr., I could see a comment on that, and I would list many people, to include Trump, who's our establishment, to include her and everyone else. Could you make a broad-based attack on the establishment on how the establishment has failed MLK? Of course you could. Of course you could. But they go, oh, it's just Trump. Without Trump, we'd be fine. If it wasn't for Trump, we don't even have to have this day anymore. Like, it's done. That's what she's saying. This is actually insulting.
And we will not accept that in America of 2026.
Okay, we just voted him in 2 years ago. She does this all the time. What she does, many things. She will always validate government as always. But she will somehow, if at all possible, use the woman card if she can. And of course, she will also say, we say no more. We say no. We're going to stop it. And she doesn't and can't. So let me ask you, Governor Hochul, we won't put up with it. How? Are you gonna impeach him? You get rid of him? What are you gonna do? He was president before too. What are you gonna do? She's gonna virtue signal and take this opportunity where she should be talking about how she's going to, in some way, shape, or form, support African Americans or support the black community or just say nice things about MLK or talk about the value of art in the black. I mean, there were so many ways you could have gone with this, right? So many ways you could have gone with this. Here's what I would have talked about. This, by the way, is a music. Where is this? I was going to find it. It's the Brooklyn Academy of Music. All right. So what she should have done, what I would have done if I was here, I would have walked him and talked about how communities have to support each other. That MLK wanted his daughters and his kids to grow up in a world where their content of the character matters. They could go as far as they want to go. So what I would talk about, and I'm going to be, Now let me say how I could have campaigned here, right? If I was in the campaign, I would have said, and one of the things we've been talking about here is a community charity credit where you can take X amount of dollars, $250 of your own money that you owe the state and not give it to the state. And instead put it into a local place like the Brooklyn Academy of Music or like some other place, which will support local people in your community so they could be part of the arts and not have to rely on government grants. And that you could choose the ones you want, not have someone go to the state and go, well, we've decided that Black kids need this. No. You decide. You're the kids. It's your community. You decide. Is it music? Is it singing? Is it dancing? Is it classical? Is it hip hop? I don't care. You're a community. You decide. Giving Black communities empowerment, which is what he talked about. Also, Malcolm X, by the way, too, talked about that. But so did King. Allowing local people to have community, to have power in their own communities. That's what I would have spoken about. That's an idea. How about that? Now, we're talking about how bad Trump is. That's what it is. JJ is over on Rumble. He says, to be honest, I think Trump was trusted to wield strong executive to drain a swamp. Also, MLK plagiarized his doctoral thesis. Shut up. Why would you say that? Why would you attack MLK on that? Just stop. What's wrong with you? You gave me $2 for that. You gave me $2 to go MLK plagiarize stuff. All right, fine. I don't know if he did. I have no idea if that's true, but who cares? The guy moved the nation. That's like saying, well, you know, these guys are great, but he cheated on his taxes. Who cares? You know, what if you find out that later on, I don't know, I'm making this up. I'm making this completely, that Thomas Massie cheated on his taxes. So I don't care. Good. What do I care? Do I care if he plagiarized his doctoral thesis? Why do I care? Who cares? I hope he did. Take that, establishment. Why would you say that? I don't care. Don't care at all. I hope he did. I hope he plagiarized it, and I hope he stole it from some white guy who hated him. I hope there was a white guy who hated him because he was MLK, and I hope he took that guy's stuff. That's my hope. I hope that's true. So, Michael, let's see. Oh, Michael Clark Ryder. Okay, Michael Clark Ryder, yeah. Self-appointed king. He's a self-appointed. True, he's not. Yeah, true, he's not. Absolutely. So, yeah, but that's okay. He did do that kind of funky meme, which was trolling, which was actually pretty high-level trolling. So, yes, agreed this. So, anyway, let me move on if I can.
We'll stand up and fight. We'll march forward. We'll say enough is enough. And my heart breaks over the knowledge that in Minnesota, a 6-year-old woke up with a mom. Yeah. And went to bed an orphan. True. In America. And what is continuing, and I honor those who stand up in that city. Okay. I could understand how you feel bad for the woman who was killed. I do. That makes total sense. I would hope that there are some people, and you guys know you should not be happy she was killed. That is terrible. Whatever you think, that's terrible. And there are people who are. She has a point. There are people who are being terrible. I'm like, great, she got what? No, she should not have been killed. Right? That's a terrible tragedy, and she's right. But this is an MLK Day event. This is an MLK Day event. So you walk into the MLK Day and go, what about that white woman who got killed? What? Is there a place for that? Yes. Not here. Not here. This is the wrong place for that. Again, I get it. She should not have been killed. But no. And the governor and the mayor. But let me tell you about New York State. Okay, tell me about that. Because we have been the beginning of so many critical movements. The civil rights. Like no one's with her. Like are people going, yeah, no one's with her. She won't read the room. Whoever wrote this for her, shame on them. If she thought about it, shame on them. Whatever it is. Rights movement. Now, there's other historians who'll say otherwise, but I'm from Buffalo, and I'm going to lay claim that it started in Buffalo. Because so she says, people say that, but I'm just going to make up stuff. She literally said, I'm just going to make up stuff and say it started in Buffalo. It didn't. But that's okay.
The Naga Frontier movement was the precursor to the NAACP, and it started up there as they're crossing individuals who had fled from the South across the border from Buffalo into Canada for free.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's good. Okay.
Freedom. And that's where it began. The women's rights movement, the LGBTQ
There's the
plus
women.
movement, all started here in the.
See? Why are you adding? This is, okay. Someone should have said, Governor, this is MLK Day. This is the Brooklyn Academy of Music.
State of New York. So what is our responsibility as New Yorkers in this moment?
Okay, what is it? Tell me.
As your governor,
Yeah.
I will tell you this. We are going to be defending our rights against ICE agents, and I'm going to give you two things I announced in my.
Okay, to be clear, she said on MLK Day, MLK, by the way, in case you didn't know, he was someone who did care about others, he did, but his focus, in case you know this, was African Americans, meaning the people who are freedmen here in America. That was his number one issue. In case you didn't know that, his number one issue was that. How many of those people are concerned about ICE agents? Again, if you're unhappy with I get it. Then there's tons of events you can go to. They're protesting all over the place. Go there and talk about how evil ICE is and shake your fist. I got it. Here? Lunatic, paint her face blue. You may take our lives, but never take our freedom. I like exactly what she thinks. Exactly. Yes. Shelley says MLK Day is about white people in today's society. I guess it is. I guess it is. Phil says it. Affluent white urban liberals always know how to make everything about themselves. This is true. Phil, home run. Yes, absolutely. John says it. This speech she has prepared is out of touch and quite tasteless. Both are true. Both are true. Absolutely. Yes. And of course, the most important piece, if you're black, you must also be gay. Kathy Hochul. I guess that's true. I don't know. Yes. Bronna gets, see, it is a bit uneasy noticing nobody clapping and cheering. I almost want to feel bad for her. Phew, glad that feeling passed. Yeah, let that feeling go real past. Go right past it, because you should not feel sorry for her. The fact that she'll make this is embarrassing. This is terrible. This is terrible. Yes. So, yeah. John says, Miss, I'm tough on crime. I respect the law. Once against ICE. Also true. Yes. All right.
State of the state just a couple days ago, because I want everybody to know this. I will get passed through this legislature a private right of action. So if ICE agents come and take away your constitutional rights and work outside the scope of their law,
yeah,
you will be able to take them to court and seek justice here in the.
So she went to the Brooklyn Academy of Music on MLK Day and said, I'm going to tell you about this law. If some of the ICE guys come by, you can sue them. That's what she said. That was her answer? That'll help black people. Is that what she was thinking? That'll help African Americans. Wow. JJ back on Rumble says, apologies, to be honest, I'm more a fan of Frederick Douglass rather than MLK Jr. Actually, before I am too. I actually prefer Malcolm X, to be forward. I've said it more than once. Malcolm X is much more of a libertarian compared to MLK. Not even close. MLK is far much more of a socialist than Malcolm X was. I mean, 100%. But it doesn't take away the impact that MLK did, right? He still made lots of impact. He still is an American hero, even though he has his flaws, as they all do, right? You cannot find an American hero that isn't flawed, except me, obviously. I'm obviously perfect. But besides me, there's no other American heroes that aren't flawed. Of course he's flawed. So is Malcolm X. Absolutely, of course. All I'm saying is, I agree with you, but it's MLK Day. So we could do that, is all I'm saying. So, yeah. And he goes on to say, I Have a Dream speech was inspirational. 100%. The I Have a Dream speech is quoted all the time. It's an amazing speech. Whether you agree with it, like it, prefer somebody else, still a great speech that it shook the world, man. Great speech. Again, you don't have to like the guy, believe in him to say, damn, that's good. That's all I'm saying. So, yes. All righty. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab a couple more of these if I can. CIA torture camp says every day is TSS day. TDS day. I'm sorry. It's true. Every day is TDS day. That is true. So even if it's MLK day, it is also TDS day. It is both. You're not wrong. It is both. Yes. Kim says everyone is flawed. True. Thank you, Kim. We are all human. We are all, even me, I'm teasing. We're all flawed. All of us. It doesn't mean our impact can't be strong. It doesn't mean our impact can't be valuable. It doesn't mean we can't help people or make things happen, even with our flaws. I completely agree. So, yes. Gibson over on Instagram says, what does ICE have to do with anything with MLK Day? Nothing. That's my entire point. That's why I did a show. When I watched it, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I would have respected it more, actually, if she just literally pandered. Because at least that would have been on brand. I'm going to teach black kids to swim because they don't know how to swim or whatever. She could have just pandered. I would have, if she just would have, I probably wouldn't even have put this up if she just pandered. You're like, okay, it's normal stuff. But this was beyond her normal garbage. And by the way, this is the woman right now who's leading in the polls. This woman now who has a 53% approval rating in New York State. I'm not joking. 53% approval rating in New York State right now. Yes, this woman right here. What does that mean? Look at the competition we got. And I'm saying it's to both sides. Every time the Democrats were like, but Trump is evil and he's horrible, how can you vote for him? I would say all the bad things you say, all the bad things you've talked about Trump, and the country still picked him over your Harris. How bad was she? I'll say the same with Republicans. She's terrible. And New Yorkers still pick her over you Republicans. What are you doing? And not just once. 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022. 5 losses in a row, New York State Republicans. And what's your answer? Hochul's bad. Did we not know that already? Did we even figure that one out already? It's an embarrassment. A lunatic says, how many polls he purchased? So far, none. Hopefully that will change. We'll get some more. So far, the polls I've been in, this is the best part, is people who are afraid of me, trying to diss me. That's the best part. They try to diss me and wind up not dissing me. So please keep doing that. Please keep doing that. So, yeah.
The state of New York, because everybody deserves their rights in this country. Secondly, there used to be sensitive locations where ICE was not allowed to go.
She's doubling down on ICE.
Said, no, we can go anywhere we want. Here in the state of New York, you will not go into a school. You'll not go into a church. You'll not go into a house of worship. You'll not go into a daycare center. You'll not go to a courthouse. You'll not go to a hospital. You will stay away unless you have an order signed by a judge.
And you know what black people feel complete confidence in? They freaking love it. They absolutely have total confidence in orders signed by judges. You read the room.
You're in pursuit of someone who committed a crime, not the civil offense of simply coming here, searching for a better life like my grandparents did, coming from Ireland as very poor teenagers, and so many of us.
Now she's going to try to outpour you. See, because black people are poor. Biden said it. Poor kids are as smart as white kids. So Biden said that. Biden said that. So yeah, it's fine. True.
Came from that universe, that world. And New York will always stand strong. We still have the state.
You know what black people love? When immigrants flood the city and then the city has no answer for it. And then they flood black neighborhoods with immigrants and those immigrants take their jobs. They love that. They love that. They don't complain except, all they did was complain. Yeah. You know, also black people love when the government decides to do COVID lockdowns, to lock down the entire state and to literally put 1/3 of all black businesses under forever. Oh, they love that. They love that. Talk about that. Because they love that too. Keep going.
Statue of Liberty in our harbor. And we're going to make sure that flame never is extinguished.
Okay, the black people you're talking to, their families didn't come through Ellis Island. Do you understand that? I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm saying, what is she thinking in this environment? The black people she's speaking to, their families didn't come here, and their families came here in slave ships.
Under the king that we have in Washington right now. So, Dr. King, we will not let you down.
You did already.
As you
Like
look
you really
upon
did.
us and people, decades, generations.
If you feel something hitting your head, some kind of liquid, that's MLK vomiting because he's so embarrassed at what you just said. That's what that is.
100 years from now, look back and say, did they stand up in that time when their democracy was on the line and civil?
Okay, democracy, none of these people have democracy. They live in New York. There's no democracy in New York. I'm not joking. There's no democracy in New York. They have no choice in who they get. They have no choice. You have only Democrats choose. That's it.
Rights are being trampled on. Did they stand up for each other the way Dr. King taught us? And my friends, the resounding answer must be yes. We did stand up, we marched on, and we honored the name of Dr. King. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We love you, Detroit. Oh, wrong state. Yes. Yeah, but no. Yeah, that was, you might go, Larry, that was terrible. Why in the world would you punish us that way? Well, it's because I don't like you. That would be the reason. But you know what? Here's the worst part. You might say, she can't be that bad. She is. And let me grab a couple of comments before I go on, because I have something else I want to show you too. You thought that was it? No, I'm not done punishing you. I'm not done at all. Yes, absolutely. Let me keep going down here. D says, does Larry have a policy that he will outlaw lockdowns going forward in New York? I will not outlaw them. I'll do something better than that. Because the problem is if I outlaw them, they'll just pass a law that will make them legal again. Or the next governor after me, after I become governor, next governor just go, well, it's an emergency. I'll go one step further, D. What I will say is we need to have a constitutional amendment to our New York State Constitution, directly based upon the First Amendment, that literally says lockdowns are unconstitutional and are never okay under any circumstances ever. And the concept is lockdowns attack all aspects of the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of association, lockdown stops all of that. Freedom of press, right? Can't go out there and do things, right? All the freedom to petition your government, can't do that either, right? So all those things. From religion, you can't go worship. So it stops every one of them. Therefore, by default, is illegal because the First Amendment does not say the First Amendment unless I'm scared. It doesn't say that. So because of that, you must base upon that and make an actual amendment to the Constitution. If we don't do the Constitution, the New York Constitution, some government will just go emergency and lock it right down. No lockdowns ever, under no circumstances ever. So I go one step further. So yes, but more. So more. Yes. Okay. I think that's interesting. So, all righty. So I went down that road. I grabbed a couple of these here. All right. Bronna says, so far this has been embarrassing and insulting. She really should feel that embarrassed and shame. Of course. I know she doesn't. No, because she did it again. Bronna, I have another one to show you. She did it again. Worse. You're like, what? Yeah. Worse. She did that, but worse. She's thinking to herself, that was terrible. What if? She went to her team. What if? Notice how no one was clapping. That was terrible. What if? Okay, I do it again, but worse. And her team was like, great idea. That's amazing. Great idea. I love it. There we go. That was what she thought. So yeah. All right. Let me give you this next one here, and then I won't punish you anymore. A little bit of punishment. A little bit of punishment. This is her at the National Action Network, which that's get stuff done. That's the Reverend Al Sharpton. That gets stuff done.
You just heard from Reverend Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
The conscience.
And to be clear, they're gonna get in like 10 seconds. You're gonna have the video again. They just screwed it up. I'm not joking.
Of America.
The conscience of America.
Dr. King would be so proud to know how you have carried on his legacy. And yes, you were a 12-year-old, but you were a 12-year-old preacher, is my recollection. So you're a little bit ahead of your time. But I'm here to talk about the only true king that America ever had.
Back to kings.
And that is Dr. Martin Luther King, a king who
Yeah.
lived for justice, a king who embodied love and compassion.
I think that's true. So that's something, she did something good, because the last time she didn't talk about King much at all, right? She didn't talk about him much at all. Now she talks about him a little bit. So I'll give you something. I guess she figured, okay, I totally dissed him in the last one. This one, I'll at least say some good stuff before I say how bad Trump is. So I'll first say how awesome the other dude is, the Reverend Al Sharpton. Then I'll say how good Martin Luther King Jr. is. Then I'll go into how evil Trump is. Okay, so
King
way
who
worse.
created the beloved community that he spoke of. The
He
king
created
who
the community?
fought for the beautiful struggle.
Beautiful struggle.
The king who gave power to the people. Not a would-be king in Washington who's trying to assert his power and his ego over the rest of America in a form of tyranny of which we've not seen in 250 years. That is
Okay, no one's clapping. Not happening. Totally tone deaf. She thought, you know what? That last one, I didn't go far enough. I got to go further now. See, I'm going to say nice things. Then I'm going to go, he 250 years in the king and blah, blah, blah. That'll get the black people clapping.
the fight we are in today in 2026. So, Reverend Al,
No one's clapping. Like, she thought this will get the black people going. You know, them blacks, they love when you scream and stuff, or whatever racist shit she said.
you can ask us where we think Dr. King's dream is today. But let's reflect on what he would say about this time.
Okay. See, it
He
came back.
saw what's happening in 2026 and has been going
What'd he
on
say?
for exactly 1 year already.
Yeah.
He'd say, heaven help us. Heaven help us.
Okay, no one, this is not at all. John's like, she really thought she ate with that lie. She did. She thought she had it. He's like, I got him this time. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Adirach says, Dr. Dream. Yeah, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. Crickets. Yep. Look, you don't have to be, right? You don't have to be like Miss Black Person. It's not required. It's not. You could just say some nice things about Dr. King, whatever you happen to know. Just be nice and then move on. It's not required. You don't have to be the pro in everything. It's not required. This is about that bother me. She thinks somehow she has to like represent all black people somehow. She doesn't have to. She could have showed up and said, hey, when I was a kid, I remember what Dr. King stood for. My parents loved him. It made us feel safer and happier and better about the black community. And I've loved the black community since then, blah, blah. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Here's why. And move on. She could have done that. That would have been fine. People would have loved it. Oh, so sweet. Awesome. They'd have loved that. No. I'm going to show you, yeah. And Trump is bad because I'm still running for office. Here's the thing that gets me so much. And it's a mistake that most Republicans make. Not Trump in this case, to be forward with you. Trump gained a whole lot of black people's votes. Why? Because Trump went there to black communities and just said, this is who I am, whatever, that's it. He didn't do the racials. They didn't care. He said, I don't care. He goes, I'm going to get you guys jobs. So what he said in 2016. Said again in 2024. I'm going to get you guys jobs. That's it. That's all I care about, whatever. And I'm out. And people said, oh, you didn't pander? You didn't like try to like put your fist in the air and wear an afro or something? You didn't do any of that? It's pretty good. Black people were like okay with that. Yeah. Now, again, most black people did not vote for Trump, but by percentage, far more did. Why? Because he didn't pander. All Democrats ever do is pander. That's it. They show up. She's being more forward than most. She just showed up and said, hi, I'm Democrat. You guys owe me your vote. So I'm going to tell you why Trump is bad and give me your vote. I'm not going to help you at all because I don't care. I'll once in a while throw you something here or there, and then I'm going to walk away. Like, damn, okay. That's basically what she's doing now. And totally tone deaf.
Let's get back to the streets. Let's start the fight again.
So let's get back to the streets and start the fight again. Why? Why? Because black people are being harmed? Because African Americans have lost their rights? No, because ICE. Because ICE. If you're a black person in New York State the odds are you know someone or are someone who lives in public housing. Yes, that's the odds are. Over 50% of people who live in public housing are black. They're not 50% of the population, right? So that's not how that works. Over 50% of people who have been arrested and or convicted of cannabis-related crimes are black. Yes. Over 40% of our prison population, black. Most small business owners now trying to grow right now in New York State, black women. Did she mention any of those? She's like, you guys get back in the streets to support black women business? No. To end your stupid Office of Cannabis Management that's hurting black people? No. To stop black people from being hammered in lockup? No. To stop black people from living in the largest slumlord in the country, NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority? No. Because some white woman in Minnesota got shot. So back in the streets. Again, I want to be very clear. I'm not angry at people being upset that woman was killed. She should not have been killed. Regardless of what you think, her death is terrible. She's right from her previous thing. There's a kid who's an orphan now. That sucks. That sucks. But on MLK Day, in front of a black audience, get back in the streets because some white woman in Minnesota was shot. There's a place for that. It's not here. It's not today. But she doesn't know any better.
Because the march so clearly has not been completed in this country because of what has happened in Washington.
Not because of the fact, one more time, that over 50% of all public housing people in New York State are black. Not because of that. Because Trump is bad. That's the reason.
And you reflect on what happened in Minneapolis.
See?
A 6-year-old child woke up with a mother and went to bed an orphan in the United States of America. And if that can happen to one woman in Minneapolis, what about everyone else who stands in the way of this would-be king asserting his power? And I'll tell you this.
It's quiet. No one cares. No one's paying attention. How tone deaf are you? How tone deaf are you?
As governor of a state whose legacy has been built on civil rights, women's rights, LGBTQ rights.
Okay, well, hold on. I got to go back. Hold on. Is that what, did she just say that? Hold on. What legacy? Hold on one more time.
Rights, women's rights.
Hold on.
And I'll tell you this. As governor of a state whose legacy has been built on civil rights.
Gotcha.
Women's rights, LGBTQ rights.
Okay, let me go one more time. New York State, our legacy is that. So all the people who literally died in Alabama, in Georgia, in Mississippi, jumps, we got New York State. What? How many times did MLK come to New York State and change things? I don't remember any of them. I'm sure he did, but I don't remember any of them. I remember, is it Alabama, Mississippi? Remember those? Georgia? He was in the South, wasn't he? So she co-opted the South. And now talking about, again, one more time, you see it says Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, his picture's there, Reverend Al Sharpton, and she didn't go, black people. What she said was, black people, civil rights, so just in general, black people, whatever's, gay and women. That's what this is about? She just made it that.
That's in our DNA, my friends.
It's our DNA.
We're hardwired to fight back and protect others' rights.
You didn't do that when it came to the Second Amendment, did you? What about those rights? Yeah, yeah. You didn't do that when it came to lockdowns. That's First Amendment rights. But, you didn't do that, did you? No, you're not at all. How about stopping you from taking their property? How about that? How about someone able, like a Dexter Taylor, who just decided to build his own business out? How about that? None of that. No. That's utter crap you just made up. None of that's true.
And this moment in history calls us to do just that.
See, this is the moment.
And you want us to talk about policies, Reverend Al?
I would, yes. So I didn't see the Reverend Al, but obviously Reverend Al talked about policy. Because what Reverend Al obviously cared about in this case was, I don't know, on MLK Day in his National Action Network, Black people was like the thing that this is about. That's what it's about. Again, not that you have to only care about Black people. Of course you don't. But if you're gonna hang out with Reverend Al Sharpton on MLK Day, you probably should talk about Black people. Just saying. You probably should. She's like, you're talking about policy. Okay, I'll tell you about. Okay, what's your cool policy? Tell me.
How much time you got here?
I've done 8 hours, so I'm ready to go. Give me something. What's your policy to help Black people? Come on.
Just gave a State of the State address that'll knock your socks off because
I saw it, and it was an embarrassment, and I did a whole 3-hour show on it, and I wrecked you because it was terrible and because you're embarrassing. So it did knock my socks off if you mean that it was so horrible. I threw up on my socks and removed them because they were filled with vomit. Then yes, that would be accurate.
we deal with every challenge of the day.
Every challenge.
But let me talk about two that seem particularly acute right now as we think.
Okay, acute right now. Got it. You got all the policies in the world. Lie, none. That's fine. What she has is money she's giving up. That's fine. So these are two. See, she's prepping us, Shelley. She's prepping us. There's going to be two that are appropriate right now, which means, I guess, Black people on MLK Day at Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network. I'm trying to let you guys know what the context is here. And you can imagine yourself if you were running for office and you'd come to this place, what you might be thinking about talking about, or maybe don't go, right? Either one of those. Either show up, know your audience, or if you don't care about it, don't show up. Both are appropriate, whichever you prefer. Don't show or show up appropriately. She chose to show up. Is it appropriate?
About Minneapolis and ICE agents flooding.
Minneapolis and ICE agents. Okay, in case you weren't, maybe you just tuned in, you're not sure. She's the governor of New York. ICE agents are people who are trying to get immigrants, usually, hopefully, undocumented or illegal immigrants. We hope. Supposed to be. That's supposed to be their job. Are Black people who were former slaves somehow undocumented or not American or something? No, doesn't affect them at all. Doesn't affect them at all. Not even a little bit. Doesn't affect them at all. I am in no fear of being attacked by ICE. Now, again, if you don't like ICE, I get it. This is not the place.
Our streets and terrorizing people, not just in Minneapolis.
Where?
But I was over in Little Haiti a little while back. Little Haiti is now a ghost town because of the.
Okay, let me educate some of you who may not know this, just in case you're concerned. Haitians are not African Americans. They're not. They're Haitian Americans. Haitians are not part of the ADOS community, which is the American descendants of slaves, or also known as the freedmen. They're not that. They are immigrants. I'm not against Haitians. Enjoy. No worries. I don't care if you're Haitian. It's fine. Be Haitian. That's not what MLK was fighting for. MLK wasn't, you know what I'm worried about? Jamaicans and Haitians coming here. We got to protect them. That's not what he was talking about. That wasn't his goal at all. His concern was the descendants of slaves in America. That was his concern. You came from Haiti last week? He wasn't talking about that. But she doesn't know any better. And again, if you don't know any better, don't do this. Or Democrat who loves Black people, you think you'd have someone on your staff who could say, no, don't say that. That's not the same thing. Now, if you didn't know that and you're not Black, and you're fine, you don't have to know that. You're not running for office. You're not going to Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network on MLK Day. The average American does not have to know that. She should have, or her team should have, or someone should have stopped her.
Fear that's been engendered. ICE agents, our neighborhoods, people aren't going to their churches. They're not taking their kids to schools or daycare because of this fear. And it's not an unfounded fear. Families are being separated.
Okay, it's this is okay. I get what she's talking about. I do. I understand how mean it sounds. I do. It does sound mean. It does. She's right. That sounds horrible. But is it really a problem in New York State? No. It's not. It's not like it's a no. It's not.
Day after day, even people going to court to follow the law, and they're being taken off, walking out of a courtroom, being told they're a criminal now, in handcuffs to a place their family has no idea where they are. So I said, this is the state of New York.
Yeah.
And we will ensure, when we
Yeah.
get a law passed very soon,
Okay.
that ICE agents may not go to sensitive places.
So I want to be clear on this one more time. She doubled down on this. She was like, it got nothing. Yeah, let's do it again. Let's do the same thing. You couldn't, in your travel time between two places, come up with one policy. She should have lied to us and just said, remember I told you I'm going to teach black kids to swim? I'm going to build some pools. And that would have been better. I'm not joking. That would have been better. Hey, don't want black kids drowning because I love my black kids. Going to teach them how to swim. You're going to love me. Should have not.
Like a school, places of worship, a daycare center, a hospital, a courtroom. You may
told them to
not
clap?
go there unless you show us you have an order signed by a judge. That's it.
Because note how they all got quiet. She doesn't understand. Does the black community go, well, if a judge signed it, then it's fine? There's a whole lot of black men in jail from judges. Literally over 50% of the population of our prisons is black men. Well, 40% is full of black men put in jail by judges. Doesn't make it okay for us.
And that judge would only be doing that if a crime has been committed and not the offense of crossing the border. We're standing up for our communities. Secondly, when your rights have been
Okay.
trampled,
That's one. His two.
like the woman who lost her life, that baby, that little 6-year-old, its family should have a right to pursue.
Okay. She went back on the same two things. Hi, I'm white woman, and I'm going to come in front of all you black people on MLK Day and tell you how you should care about another white woman who was killed in Minnesota, not your state, on MLK Day in front of Reverend Al Sharpton. Again, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel bad for this woman. I'm sorry, she's gone, but her lover and her child. That's terrible. This is where you say that? This is where you say that. There are tons of black people also suffering across this nation, in case you didn't know that, all over this nation. Today would have been a good day to talk about black people. I'm just saying today would have been a good day for
Justice in the courts. That happens here in the state of New York when I get my new law passed.
My new
Every
permanent
single
law passed.
person who's had their constitutional rights taken away by ICE, whether you're reporters covering the story and are beaten up and pushed aside,
You know, because most black people who are in trouble are reporters.
a
What?
factory owner in upstate New York,
Or they're factory owners in upstate New. Oh, wait, no, they're not that either. Okay, but they're not ICE. Ooh. I think black people are more likely to be ICE agents than they are to be factory owners in upstate New York.
that
I mean, I'm
went
sure there's
to,
some.
and this is ruby red Trump country, ruby red, where a factory owner who told me he voted for Donald Trump.
Okay.
No, he's regrets it now. Don't worry.
That makes it okay. So, you know, yeah, that makes it okay.
We're good. That ICE agents showed up and walked into a workforce of 170 hardworking people making
Okay.
power bars to ship to Walmarts and Costco's around the world.
Okay.
And they separated them in the break room by the color of their skin.
Okay.
Whites over here, black and brown over here. And the black and brown individuals were taken away by ICE. Didn't care if they were U.S. citizens, didn't care if they had legal status.
Okay, let's assume for a moment that actually happened. I don't believe that at all. But let's assume that's true. Let's assume that ICE agents came into a factory and then I guess no cops were with them. Is that what happened in New York State? And then divvied the people up by whites on one side and black and brown on the other, and then arrested all the black and brown people. First, wouldn't that make, did I miss that news? Did that happen? Did I miss that news? Number one. Number two, why aren't you literally going nuts over that? Why didn't you have a massive press conference? If I was governor and that happened, I am literally, not joking, I'm grabbing the state police. We are going to the facility. We are going there, guns out. I'm not joking. And we are taking those American citizens out immediately, or there will be gunfire. I'm not joking. You don't walk in and go, well, black people, you're all going to jail. That's not a thing. And if it did happen, why aren't you literally, why do state troopers aren't literally going to them and say, no, they're all out. Who's American citizen? Out now. Out now. You don't call anybody nothing. We are coming in. You start fighting us, then there's gunfire. Because I'm not letting you just arrest a bunch of black people because you decide No, of course not. Why aren't you doing that? Because she's full of it. You love black people so much, why wouldn't you go get them? You wouldn't go get them? If that actually happened, why didn't you physically go get them? I would have physically went and got them. If need be, led the assault myself, and I'm not even exaggerating. There's no way that would happen as I was governor. No way. That's why I can't believe it. I don't buy it. I think it's some guy who might have told a story. Someone might have told that story. I could believe this, that someone's told her that, but does she believe that? And if you believe that, why are you sitting there going, and it's so terrible? You're the governor of New York. If that actually happened to your citizens, you should be embarrassed. There should be violence in the streets, which you should be leading. If that happened, I don't think it even happened. I mean, if someone has the story, please show it to me. I don't know. I can't imagine that actually happened.
Status didn't care a damn thing. And in fact, 6 of them were mothers with children under the age of 1 who were nursing their babies, and they were separated from them. I'm a mother. I'm New York's first mom governor.
Well, that makes it all fine now. I'm glad you used the woman card in front of black people on MLK Day. Well done.
You tell me stories like this, the depravity and the cruelty going on in our own state?
If only there was someone who was in charge of our state who could stop that kind of depravity from happening. If only I'd say, for example, I don't know, someone who would be like a governor who would have control over the state police and the National Guard, like someone like that, who could actually stop something like that and not just walk around and talk trash about it. Yeah. Master Manawa says, I don't think it's set by OSHA for women to be nursing on the factory floor. Yeah, they were nursing on the factory floor, and then ICE came in and took the babies away. Where are the babies now? Where are the babies now? There's babies someplace? Did you do the babies away? That happened? If someone could find that for me, I don't believe that happened. Yeah, John goes, yeah, that shit didn't happen at all. If it did happen, it'd be a front page headlines on all corporate media. That's my point. I can't imagine this happening. I can't imagine it happening. I mean, again, if it did, shame on her. I will take that. You can clip this. I don't care. If some group of people, whoever, walked into a factory with guns out and divvied up the people by white and black, or black and brown, as she said, and just randomly arrested black and brown people, and then took the mothers, who I guess in this case were literally had babies on their boobs, what she says, and pulled the babies off, so she said, and separated the babies over there. I don't know who took care of the babies, and then put them all in jail. There would be so much hell to pay. Those people, whether they're federal agents or not, or gangbangers or whatever they are, I don't care who they are, they're not leaving the state. I'm getting my people within 24 hours, and if someone stops me, there will be gunfire. I didn't say it was going to happen. I said it will be gunfire. So I said, I stand by that. There is no way that happens in my state. No way. I would be going, you know what they did in my state? They did stuff. I'm the first mom, or whatever dumb stuff she said. Who cares? I'm not impressed by that. I'm not mad at moms. Women do all types of great things, and many of them are moms. So that's wonderful. Good for you. I'm happy you're a mom. I would like to have more moms in my country. I wish we'd have lots of moms. It'd be great, but not required. You're not better because you're a mom. Good that you're a mom. Happy. Doesn't make you better. She thinks somehow she's better now. I'm a mom, so I'm better than you. No, you're not. You're another good person. I'm glad you're a mom. Good for you. This is embarrassment. Anyway.
We have to stand up. They should have rights to sue and say, you damaged my economic well-being, you hurt.
So the answer is just sue. You can sue once they rip your kid off your teat, I guess what she said.
My family. You have a right to stand up against power. That's what I'm talking about.
You're the power. You have to step against you. Why does she think someone else is the power? If there's a person who's in charge of New York State, that person's the power too. That person's you. Yeah.
Here in the state of New York. And briefly, the policies that we're talking about.
Okay, they're going to help black people. Somehow she's going to get there. She'll help. Come on.
Ensuring that we have affordable child care for every child.
Okay, now we went to child. That's something. Okay, that's something. I like that. She went down that road. Something, I guess. Okay.
Calls themselves in New York. And I want to thank our mayor, Mamdani, for standing with me in this fight.
And I got to tell you, that part's the smartest thing she did. She was like, I'm failing this one. She saw it. Childcare, that'll do it. And Mamdani, remember, look, I got a brown guy next to me. See, I'm one of you. That's what she just did. I got a brown guy next to me. I'm one of you. Yes. Her usage of Mamdani is brilliant. Just brilliant. Well, I don't think it was her. I don't. She tends to not be that savvy in general, but her team was like, this Mamdani guy's something. Let's kiss his butt. And she's like, that's what I got to do? That's what you got to do. You want to make sure Delgado goes nowhere? Kiss Mamdani's butt. She's like, all right, fine, I'll kiss this guy's butt. And well done. It's actually a smart political move.
Because I am that mom who had to give up a job I love because I couldn't find affordable childcare. And why?
Yeah, now she's going to outpour you. She saw it didn't work, so I'll look, Mamdani, and I'm poor. So basically, I'm black now. See? That's her. Yes. That's her. Yeah. Brian goes, you were right, Larry. This is worse. I know it was worse. You thought it wasn't. It's worse. Yes, absolutely. It is worse.
Why am I so vested in housing, the right of decent housing for everyone? Because my parents used to live in a trailer park.
See that? She's basically black.
Next to a
Stop.
steel plant where
See?
Dad and Grandpa worked. It was tough.
I'm going to outpour you. You thought you could outpour me, but you can't. So I'm going to outpour you now.
And I lived in an unheated attic.
See
in
that?
Buffalo. Why do you think I'm so tough? Thank God for the space heater. I shared that attic with two brothers. We didn't have a lot of room for our big family. So housing means so much to me. And how do we get out of that trailer park? How do we lift ourselves out of that?
Okay. Now we're going. Okay. So how did we lift ourselves out? Okay. Now we got something. She everything else failed. The two policies failed. She grabbed Mamdani and said, look, brown guy. See, I'm good. This is my brown friend. Right? She did that. So, okay, not bad. And she's outpour you. Now she's going with some other policy. Now remember, Patty goes, she's black like me, Larry. True. Absolutely true. Yes. So actually, Patty, you're blacker. I know you, Patty. You're actually blacker. And the next thing is, Patty, I also know you have more black friends than she does. I know that's true. You actually do. So, yes. Adirondack says, Kathy and Frank Hochul. Oh, that's terrible. Love that. So using it. Yes. That's when I was born a poor black child. That's her. Yes. Absolutely. John goes, hold on. Now she's crapping on people who live in trailer parks. There we go. Yes. Absolutely. So Adirondack goes, poor equals black equals poor to many politicians. You're not. I wish you were wrong. Yes, you are correct. So I do love that. But now she's like, okay, so this has all failed. I'm going to rush back and do some policy stuff that might work. So she outpoured you, and now she's going to housing or something or other. So here she goes. Okay, here we go.
My dad was able to get a college degree and could stop working at the steel plant. That's why college education means so much to me.
Okay.
Because it lifted my family out of their circumstances. I want that opportunity for everyone in my budget. For people who are over the age of 25 and want to go into skilled trades or healthcare or education, just be able to take care of their families. Yeah. We, the state of New York, will cover the entire cost of that education, tuition, and your books, everything, because I.
So here's the answer. You're over 25. And her answer is not, I'll make the better jobs. Not, I'll light us out of business. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go to school and I'm going to pay for your books and pay for tuition. Okay. Sounds nice. How do I pay for food while I do that? I'm 25 or older. How do I pay for a family if I have one? I mean, today in New York, you don't have a family at 25. You're in New York State. You don't have that family. But in theory, I'm over 25. So maybe if I'm 40 or 50, maybe I have a family. How to pay for that? How to pay for, like, I don't know, my food and rent and living spot? How to pay for that? You going to pay for that too? So the answer isn't make New York State better. The answer is make college free. I thought Cuomo made college free. Didn't Cuomo tell us it was free 6 years ago? Cuomo told us that college was free 6 years ago. IP passed it. It's free. It was never free. I told you it wasn't free then. It was a lie then. That's a lie now. What she's saying, also a lie. She'll say it. It's not true. But worse, what if I get this college degree and there's no jobs here? What will happen? New York State will pay for a college degree and that person will move to Florida or Tennessee or Texas and get a job. How do we know that? That's what's happening now. Across our country now, because you guys don't know this, if you're a newly college graduate, the unemployment rate for you is higher than someone who doesn't have a college degree. Yes. I mean, you think I'm crazy. That's true. Happened last year. Last year was the first year that's ever been true. That has never been true in American history until now. Since we've been following it, right? Since we've been keeping a track of it. Never been true that a recent college graduate has a higher unemployment rate than someone who does not have a college degree. Never been a thing before. Now it is. And her answer is college. That's her answer. Well, you're over 25? Take some free college and leave the state, or take some free college and not have a job. You could instead create an environment to where there's more jobs. You could do that. That will be an option, but she won't do that. She lied here. She'll lie again. Yes, she lied again. So looking over here at Rumble, Kim says she's making me projectile puke all over Missouri. I know it's terrible. JJ says Trump said, "What do you have to lose?" When a Republican. Yes, he was just regular. Trump. I mean, I know a lot of you love or hate Trump, but when he came to the black man, Trump came to the Bronx. Brilliant move. Again, we look at Trump. Brilliant political move. Brilliant. Just showed up and said, "Hey, I'm here. What did I lose? These guys suck. Vote for me." And they were like, "Yeah, you didn't pander." Okay. And a lot of black people voted for him. He didn't pander. She's here just pandering. Just pandering. And poorly, even
Know
worse.
the power of unlocking people's potential with an education. We're going to continue focusing on driving down the high utility rates and car insurance rates and all those areas where you're at the end of the month, you're just.
Okay. I'm not mad at her talking about she's going to lower the expenses. Of course she is, right? Of course she's going to say it. Of course. But that's not what I'm talking about. It's one more time. It's MLK Day, and behind her are nothing but white men. You're at the National Action Network. Why aren't you talking about things that affect black people more than white people in New York State? I am not saying create quotas for black people. I'm not. What I'm saying is, if you actually come here and talk about black people, then deal with issues that affect black people more than other groups, if that's what you're worried about. But help anyone who's in trouble, right? Why is it about public housing? As I mentioned, 50% of people in New York State who are in public housing are black. So why don't you have a policy to fix public housing? That would help non-black people too. There are white people in public housing. There are Hispanics in public housing. There are Asians in public housing, of course. But since there's a higher chunk by percentage of black people in public housing, if you have a public housing policy, you will be by default be helping black people more. You could just do that.
Saying, I can't make ends meet. I've lived that experience. I've clipped the coupons. I had a lot of eat of cans of Spam because it's my parents.
I'm outpouring you. I am outpouring you. I love that. Yes. Adirondack says, those trailer park attics were no joke. Nice. Lunatic. The trailer attic is called the effing roof. It is. It's true. So she lived in a trailer park in an attic that didn't exist with people who, yeah, I guess. Yes. Veronica goes, yeah, called it. Yep. Trailer park addicts. I guess it's tough. Yes. So Yeah, but no one cares. She's just trying to outpour you. See, you thought you were poor? She's poor, which means she's basically black. Because in her mind, black is poor. So it's the same. I'm basically you now because I can tell you some story. So that's all that matters.
You guys, who likes spam? I mean, I'm sorry if you like it. You open up the can, your little kid getting creeped out by the jelly and all that.
Does any of this matter when it comes to black people on
Mom
MLK
would
Day?
fry it and call it dinner. Okay, it was a cheap way to serve a big family. So I have lived that life. And
She
my
lived it.
job as the governor of New York is to say that no one else should have to struggle.
So her job as New York State mayor is to say, her words, no one else should have that struggle. Okay, I got it. I like that. I do. So could you maybe do something about it versus just saying it? I like you saying it. It's nice. It's nice to say, but could you do something about it? She's like, we say no more struggle. Okay, you've been governor for 5 years. There's a lot of people in this state struggling, like a lot of people struggling. You're failing miserably, unless your job is just to say it. If your job is to just say it, good job. Well done. You've said it. No one's helped, but is that your job to say it? White guy in the back's like, why am I here?
Because this is a great state, a shining state. We should be example to others. And
Over 100,000 people are running out of this state every single year. Up to between 100 and 300,000 New Yorkers are leaving every year. This state is not a shining example. This state's a disaster. And again, you've been governor for over 5 years.
we'll do that and how we protect our immigrant community and how we lift up our families and how we keep them safe. Thank you very much. Dr. King should be proud of New Yorkers because this is the state where we mobilize, we take to the streets and we fight back.
None of that's true. She just made all that up. When they were locking us down, we didn't mobilize. We sat in our houses and went, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" We didn't mobilize. We didn't do it at all. We sat and did nothing. Some people in Staten Island did something, but the rest of it didn't do anything. We just sat around. We accepted it. We took it.
Back every single day. Thank you much, everybody. Thank you very much.
You rock Detroit. Okay, I'm done punishing you. Thank you for taking the punishment. I do appreciate it. I'm done punishing you now. My point of all this being, it is terrible. This is horrible. This is what she talks about now. So let me grab some comments if I could. You have a lot of them, and I want to cover. Before I go there, I go, Larry, you talk trash. What would you have said? I would have brought up public housing. I would have said one of the problems that we've had since the 60s, the biggest issues that we've had since the 60s is a slow decline in black ownership of businesses, black ownership of housing. Black ownership is what we've been failing. The American dream that black families used to rush for and try to get was ownership of something, having that house, having that whatever the case, having that car, having that thing they wanted. That was a common thing. Most Americans are failing on that, but black people more than most. How do I know that? Because again, over 50% of our people in public housing are black. So here's what we're going to do in New York State. We are going to shift all public housing into rent to own. All of it. We're going to shift it all into rent to own. And we're going to get the black families, over 50% of them in public housing, into an ownership mindset. Gentrification crushes you when you're a renter. It does not crush you when you're an owner. That generational wealth that black families have lost over generations, we can bring back. We can do that. We start making that happen here and watch things begin to change. Now, poor whites and poor Hispanics and poor Asians will also benefit from this. It's not based upon black people, but this will help the black family more than others because of the percentages happening. We'll make that happen. Black ownership. Oh my God, that's something. People, I would have got claps. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You would have had that happen because black people know they're old and remember when they used to own stuff. I would talk about cannabis reform. We're going to end the Office of Cannabis Management. How many times do you find black people in communities trying to sell, trying to make money off of cannabis? Over 50% of people in this state who are convicted of cannabis crimes are black. First thing first, cannabis should have been a crime. All possession crimes, I'm going to wipe them out with a pardon. All possession, cannabis crimes, wiped out with a pardon. Gone. Now, that will also affect white people. That will also affect Hispanic people. There's Hispanic people, white people, Asian people who also sold weed. I got it. But the possession crime should be pardoned. Get rid of it. Why? You have cannabis. It shouldn't be a crime. It's legal now. So why can't we pardon it? If it wasn't deadly now, if it isn't deadly, it wasn't deadly then. So why do they have it? Pardon all those crimes. Get rid of them. Wipe that clean of all cannabis. Again, if you were robbing people, that's still a crime. But you had it, gone. Get rid of it. And not just that. You should automatically, if you want to, regulate cannabis like onions. If you want to sell, open up a store. Why are we shutting these stores down? Where are all the deaths? No. Let Black communities support Black communities, Black ownership. Again, affects others too. So I'm not making it a Black thing, but it is a law that is right, that is correct. It's a policy that will help people in general, but if focus on the Black community more. Not just that. Licensing. There are a huge chunk of the Black community who need licensing. Hair care, nursing, etc. Let's make it easier. This allows more Black women, particularly, to move forward. Black small business owners, support Black small business owners, right? Support small business owners in general. If you do so, the biggest group of new small business owners are Black women. So you are by default helping Black women when I help all small business owners. This is the right way of assisting the Black community without being race specific, without having a quota system, and without going, oh, you're white or you're Hispanic, you don't get helped. No. If you fall into this category, you can get helped. Oh, more of these people are Black than others? Awesome. That's helping the Black community. But anyone who falls in that group can be assisted. This is the style of conversation she should have had. This is the style of conversation I would have. This is the way you support New Yorkers in general, make everything better, but support the Black community. That's the piece we should have talked about. That's what she should have talked about, but she doesn't do any of that because she didn't care. She didn't care. She just goes, keep voting for me because Trump is bad. Trump bad, vote for me. No. Here is a way you can actually make things better. That's the issue. Anyway, I hope that makes sense at least. So let me grab some of these comments if I could. Shelly says, not once did she honor MLK. Did she say what he did? No. Did she say what he wanted? No. What would MLK have been proud of? What do you think? It's a good point. What would he have been proud of? Proud because Black people went and protested because a white woman was killed in Minnesota? No. He would be like, yay, that's so good, Black people. No, he wouldn't have done that. He would have been proud if he would have seen Black families succeeding in life. That's what he would have wanted. Black families succeeding in life. It's what I want. It's what most people want. Unless you just hate Black people, I'm sure most of you are like, yeah, I'd be nice if Black people would succeed. Be great. Yes. And we all succeed, but yeah, that's great. Let's do that. That's what he'd be happy about if he saw Black families succeeding. You could fix family court to not punish Black men unnecessarily, men in general again, but still family court, keep the family together. We know this already. They made a change in Kentucky, I think it was, or was it Tennessee? I think it was Kentucky. Kentucky. And it just said, no matter what, guaranteed, it is 50-50 parenting. The wife does not automatically get the kid. When that happened, it cut divorce rate like 30 or 40% overnight. Families stick together. Do something like that here in New York. That could work too. Anything, keeping the family together. Any policy she could have made would have been great, except she said, let's just stop ICE people and Trump. Not even understanding. There's a difference. There's a difference between American descendants of slaves and immigrant Black people. There's a difference. I'm not mad at immigrant Black people. Please come to our country. I'm not mad at them. There's a difference. So yes. All right. Let's see here. If I go down here. Adirondack says, has anyone profited more from grifting racism than Reverend Al? Ooh, what's a tough one? Ibram X. Kendi? Maybe. I mean, he was nobody until he started doing the race grift. It's close. Maybe. But yeah, there's a lot. Jesse Jackson, him a lot too. Jesse was better though. Jesse was better. But yeah, I could see it. So yeah. All righty. Let me walk down some of these here. LM No says constitutional amendments are key to liberty. Yes. Especially state constitutional amendments. Yes. Most people focus too much on federal rights and ignore states' rights. You are correct. That's why I'm focusing on it. You are correct. Yes. Thank you. Absolutely correct. Yes. 100%. That was my piece I was worried about. Yes. JJ over on Rumble says, BLM, buy large mansions. I again, wish you were wrong, but you're not. Wish you were wrong, but you're not. Absolutely. So again, that was my whole point. You could create a way of making it work. You could have made a better conversation. You could have actually talked to issues that affect Black people more than white people, right? Again, I don't want to say Black people get X because that turns everybody off. I get that. I understand that. But you can make it to where let's deal with things that affect the Black community more. Licensing is one, as I mentioned. Public housing is one, right? There's many of them we could have worked on, right? Small businesses, particularly female businesses. Absolutely. So yes. All right. Lunatic says, how many children are orphaned daily because of violence? Yes. How about this? You're worried about a woman being murdered in Minnesota. I get it. How about all the gang violence that's happening throughout the country? Most of it being young Black men, and many of them who are fathers who now their kid has no one. How about that? Or the young guys being killed who now their mother or father has lost their young one. Valid point, right? Again, I'm being very specific about, this specific day. Lucy goes on to say Malcolm X was New York. Yes, I know. Yes. But he was that, and also DC. Yeah, but he was New York. Yep, I agree. He was all about in Harlem, keeping Harlem Black and Black people supporting Black people. That was his thing. So yes, that was his thing. 100%. So, all righty. Massman House says, remember when MLK walked across the George Washington Bridge? No? Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that one. Yeah, absolutely. John goes on to say, she takes guns away from more Black and Hispanic men than any other race. True. Yes. And then Wise says, if only local and state police were allowed to work with ICE. This is my point. I keep saying, thank you for this. The answer is allowing local police to coordinate everything and having ICE support them. Then you don't have the crazy stuff happening because local police know they walk in and go, oh, Johnny, how you doing? They know Johnny is not illegal. They know he's not a migrant. You don't have to divvy up by race or whatever. I don't believe it happened anyway, but yes. Anyway, Andrea says she already helped Black kids to swim. What else do you want from her? True. She's done a bit. She's good. Yes. John says he's looking at a teleprompter. I don't think she is. I think there was no teleprompter there. And that's why it was so bad. So, yes. Master says dehydrated Sharpe didn't just add integrity. You got to add a whole lot of integrity, like a lot. And then why Liberty says, my local county is working on an agreement to work with ICE under one of their cooperative programs. Basically, hold people at jail for ICE, hold them at policing actions. If found to be non-citizens, hand over to ICE. Okay, I've been saying this forever. You are absolutely correct. Look, local law enforcement. I know some of you don't like ICE doing anything. I get it. I do. I understand that feeling. It feels terrible. It does. It looks horrible. You're right. So let's fix it. Let's do what Curtis Lee said. Curtis Lee was right. He said, you don't fight Trump, you deal with him. He wants to make a deal. He always wants to make a deal. So make a deal. Local county making a deal with ICE. Make a deal. I know you may go, Larry, I'm against this, whatever. I know, but there are certain things you cannot stop. So make it as good as you can make it. And for you people who want every migrant to leave, you're also foolish. You're not going to get rid of all the migrants. You can't get rid of 20 million people. It is physically impossible. So focus on the bad ones. Deal with the rest of people later. Focus on the bad ones. And there are lots of bad ones. We know this. Even if, and people will get mad at me, Larry, the vast majority are good people. Okay, I believe you. Fine, I believe you. I'll do the old 1% are bad, 90% are good. Okay, maybe. Okay, I'm going to buy that completely. I got 200,000 migrants in my state last year. Well, for 2024, 200,000. If you're right, and 99% are right, okay, they're all good. Only 1% are bad. Okay, that's 2,000 gangbangers are in my state now. The average gang is maybe 200 to 300 people. That's 8 to 9 gangs just came into my state. Even if you're right, 99% are great, only 1% are bad. Okay, fine. Let's focus on those at 1%, the 2,000. Let's focus on them first. Let's get rid of them first. Then we'll do everybody else later. You do that, to your point, by making a deal. Local law enforcement knows where the bad guys are or has a better chance of knowing it. They may make mistakes too. They have a better chance. How's some group of ICE guys from who knows where going to show up in some spot and know who the bad guys are? How do they know that? They can't. And that's how bad stuff happens. A failure of leadership, but this is the right answer. Just make a damn deal. Just make a deal. That's the issue. Yes. So thank you for that. And why you got lots of going on here. He goes on to say her 3D printing law she wants is unimplementable and unenforceable, not to mention would destroy small industry. And I imagine New York State will look like Washington's currently submitted law for the outline. Yes, all that law for the 3D printing will do is make sure no one sells anything or builds anything in New York State. Crushing business yet again. 100%. Yes. Adirant says, Haitians, they're the black ones, right? Yeah, I'll talk about Haitians today. That's literally what happened. Yes. Hey, Haitians, those are the black ones? Yeah, talk about them. They're black. That's what she thought. Totally correct. She had no idea. Again, I wish you were joking. Yes. Mass Manawa says, Catherine doesn't judge a man by the color of his skin, but by the content of his stock portfolio. True. Yes. Phil says, a lot of people in black communities were upset because municipalities were diverting resources from black people to immigrants so easily. This is a bigger piece. Particularly, this happened a little bit in Brooklyn, but heavily in the Bronx here in New York City. Heavily in the Bronx, a little bit in Brooklyn too. All of a sudden, they're like, well, what about us? You give it to migrants. How about us? So why does she assume black people care about immigrants? This is her mindset. Well, they're not white, so then they're all the same. Yeah. That's the problem. 100%. So, all right. Shelley said, Kamala Harris broke records in locking up black men for possessing drugs. Yes. Then gave black men longer sentences than their white counterparts and kept them in prison so she could use them as slave labor. Yes, and yes. Yes. Superweapon says, the speech would have gone over better if she had just mentioned how Dick Taylor was wrongfully convicted and should be pardoned. Imagine if she would have shown up and pardoned Dexter Taylor. I would be clapping right now. I'd be like, well done, Kathy Hochul. Props. Well done. I would be clapping right now. Well done. Terrible. So I was going to say, this is one of the most incoherent babbles ever. That's on brand. That is on brand. So at least it is on brand. That's something. So yes. Phil says the business owners looking for the immigrants to undercut the wages of black workers. Probably true. But assuming what she said is true, which it isn't, that would never work. Yes, absolutely. I can't imagine that. Yes. All righty. Grab some more of these. Massman House says, Kathy got that story from watching an old World War II movie. Probably true. So, someone told her, like someone said, this is a good story. So yeah, something like that. She did that instead. So, all righty. Let's see here. There we go. Andrea says they inflated the real story to make it into talking points for a speech. That's probably what happened. Yeah, there was some story. Probably they went into some place and someone told something. She's like, well, let's just, make it this, and then that. No one will know, and most people aren't going to pay attention. So yeah. John says she had to keep bringing out Mamdani to remind her far left base that she's still good. True. She'll keep this going until after June. Why? What's in June? The primary. Once the primary is over, she will shift. Thomas, well, thank you. Just donated. Thank you, guys. Guys, since Tom did that, remember, I know I give you guys a lot, and I hope you enjoy it. This is also a fundraiser. I still need cash to make this happen. These are lots of good talking points. You're hearing what I'm talking about, my ideas I'm bringing up. It still does matter. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Give what you can. My next report doesn't happen until April, but I still need cash to keep going. I have to still see if I can get more stuff happening. So please, if you can, LarrySharpe.com/donate. The best piece I'm going to ask you for, if you can give me 10 months, 26 in 26, $26 a month for 2026 from now until November. 10 months left. I'm going to be here for 10 more months till it's over. Give me 26 in 26 for 10 months. $26 per month for 10 months. That's what I'm asking you to do. $260 over the course of 10 months. Do that. Matching funds will come in and we'll start getting matched. Help me out. And here you go. If you say, Larry, I can give you, $50. Great. Can you have 2 people in your household, Gib? If you live in New York State. If you live in New York State, 2 people, because I need multiple donors. So if you can, that'd be amazing to do that. I appreciate that. So please, if you can, take care of that. If you have already done, you can also volunteer at LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. We need people on SEAL Team Sharpe. So jump on board if you can. So yes, donations do matter. Please donate if you can. I'm not done. We got to keep going. So, alrighty. Let's see here. Arrow Slayer says, Eminem 8 Mile Trailer Park Mom. Yes. Yep. She's mixing up stories. Anne Frank and 8 Mile. Well, you just mix them up. It doesn't matter. You just keep talking. People don't get it, and it's fine. So, yeah. There we go. Yes. I love that. All right. Shelly says, since when is the government in charge of the budget? They pass laws in the budget now, Shelly. Yeah. Shelly goes on to say, you'll take your degree and experience in another state. Yes. All of my college graduates are out of the state. Yes. Thank you, Shelly. If you don't have a job, it doesn't matter. Andrea says it. What a concept for free college doesn't matter if there are no jobs. Yes. Absolutely. You got to have jobs once you graduate. That's the issue, right? Yes. John says, I think about why her approval ratings are so high. Then I remember all her dissenters leave and the 47% of New Yorker life. Yes. Okay. Guys, here's the thing I want to make sure we're clear on. You might say to yourself, Larry, how in the world can the people in New York give her a 53% approval rating? Because the people who hate her and can't stand what she's doing are voting with their feet or with their U-Hauls or with their trucks, and they're packing up and leaving. They are gone. They're leaving. Again, between 100 and 300,000 per year are leaving. They are voting with their feet. Yes. Adirondack says, what an inspiring tribute to Dr. King. I know. He'd be proud now, I guess. So, yeah. Patty says, my eye can now stop twitching. Thank goodness it's over. I know, but this is our governor. This is our governor. So, yes. So, all righty. John says, why was cannabis made illegal? Economics. William Randolph Hearst was afraid of it. It would hurt him financially. It's been carried on by Big Pharma for the same reason. Yes, because of hemp. Yes, because of hemp. Yes. Tom says, hit the like button and share. Yes, guys, I actually donate. Please donate. If you've already done so, still do 2 things. Click the button known as like. And if you haven't shared this into some other place, please share this someplace. Please share this. Please do so if you can. It does matter. 100%. Please share this if you can. So every little share does matter. So people know it. Yes, please do so. All righty. Let's see here. I do appreciate that. Let me grab some more of these. All righty. New Runner says, school choice without primarily poor families choose which type of school is best for the child. Again, great point. I could have brought that up too, right? If you care about education, I would care more about the early education to be forward, because that sets you up for the future. I talked about this in the past, right? The idea of me creating my New York State Social Trust to pay for education so that we don't have to have state and or federal strings. Now local people control their own school district. Way better. You're correct. And the money, of course, follows the kid within the school district. And then depending on how much money you're giving, you get a chunk to go to private school or to homeschool. You could change everything. I completely agree. That is a wonderful idea. And I could have brought that one up too. So I had more stuff I could have given. I got to have you, New Runner, help me out with me talking. So yes, absolutely. So that was a school choice, but I enjoy that. All right. And it goes on to say more well-off families have school choice. Yes, absolutely true. 100%. Absolutely more important. The wealthy people get that. So, all righty. Let's see here. If I can, Patty says fixing fresh food deserts in cities, she could have mentioned, would have also been a great idea. Yes. Also a great idea. Trade schools. Oh, again, you guys just pull it on. All of us could have thought of a better thing to say. So many different ways we could have fixed this. So many ways we could have made this better. Right? So many things we could have made this better. Of course we could have. We didn't do any of that stuff. So yes. So John says, state and local police did work with ICE when President Obama was in the White House, which is why President Obama deported a lot more people than President Trump has. Yes, and that's the way it should be. You're correct, John. But we can't because Orange Man bad. So that's it. Orange Man bad. That's how it works. I completely agree. So, all righty. There we go. Andrea says they don't want to make a deal because they want these things to happen for fundraising purposes. All right, let me take it again. They don't want to make a deal because they want these things to happen for fundraising purposes. I hate that you may be right. I do. I hate that that woman was killed in Minnesota, and instead of them actually caring about it, which they don't, she's using it as a way to go, see, Trump is bad, give me money, vote for me. Not, my God, what have we done? What a horrible lack of leadership. We should fix this. This is what I'm saying. I would like these people to not be shot. As crazy as a hot take. I would like them to not be killed. I would not like to make extra kids not have moms. I don't care if you don't like who this woman is. I don't care. She didn't deserve to die. And she died because of everything that came together. And it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have. Well, do you blame him? I mean, I blame him. He shouldn't have shot her, right? He shouldn't have shot her. Some of you get mad. I don't care. He should not have shot her. And she shouldn't have died. These are both terrible things, right? None of that should have happened. And it did. Why? A lack of leadership at the top. Exactly your point, Andrea. Are they changing this now? Are they going, oh, wow. You know what? If we would have had things work out better, we would have negotiated better and made a deal, she wouldn't be dead now. No. They're like, good, can't wait for the next one. They can't wait for the next one, Andrea. They can't wait for the next one. And someone else's family is going to be wrecked. So they can go, see, Orange Man is bad. So vote for me. Oh, the reverse. They're all whatever, domestic terrorists. They're not, but they're all that to give me money. So either side says the other one's bad. No. So anyway, all right. Let me keep walking down this road. You got me all up and going. So yes. All righty. Let's see here. Okay. Mastermind House says, I'm getting $50 to Larry, but I have to funnel to my New York family. Thank you. There we go. It says 26 and 26. That will be amazing. I appreciate that if we can. 26, 4, 26. Yes, absolutely awesome. Yep, let's go. I do love that, guys, if we can. It's a great thing if you can. Robert says, disproportionately helps black people debate is one that needs to be had because those universal policies are not enough to fix Black Americans. It's harder to harm, to grow, it's harder to repair. You're not wrong, Robert, but here's the issue. If you haven't noticed, where is the start of any of this? Nowhere. This is forgotten. This is done. She went, again, to an MLK event on MLK Day and this about black people. And there's no difference between African Americans and black immigrants. So can I baby step this, please? Can I baby step it? You're asking for something that, again, I want to be very clear. She's a Democratic governor of New York State. She went to an Al Sharpton event and a Brooklyn event on MLK Day to talk about black people. And you want targeted repair. Not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's baby steps, brother. I wish we weren't there, but we are. I'm just being forward. We just are. So yeah. Any case. All right. Let me walk down here if I can. Masterman Hour says, if they were serious, they would make an example out of that ICE agent. I agree with you, but they're not. This is to Andrea's point. They're not. John goes, Andrew, you're right. Yes. Phil, Andrew, you got everybody on your side. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. 100%. Yes. All righty. John said, if we had not encouraged her to confront ICE and then trained her how best to do. Thank you. Okay. If local law enforcement was working with ICE, she wouldn't have been there. She wouldn't have been there. There'd be no need for her. She wouldn't have been there. True. And again, you get me mad. Oh, ICE, I got it. ICE is not going away. That guy's not even arrested. I think he will get arrested. I think at one point, someone's going to arrest him. I still say it's going to happen. At one point, someone will. It'll be some show. He won't go to jail. He'll get pardoned, whatever. I think at one point, he's going to get arrested somehow because, like, Waltz will have to, like, be tough guy and arrest him or something, right? I think that'll happen probably at one point. But you're right. None of it happens then. Like, none of it happens. You are absolutely correct, John. That's all they had to be. So, yes. John says, as much as I try to be optimistic, the pessimist in me sees politicians talking, and I immediately sense hypocrisy. Like the next tragedy, they can flip into a fundraising opportunity. I wish it wasn't true. Yeah. Yes. I wish it wasn't true. So, but back to John's point, she didn't have to be there. We should have set this up, the system up. That wasn't happening in Memphis. It's hardly happening at all in New York. She had to make up some story. Did anyone find that story being true? None of that's true, right? She made a story up or something. That would have been someplace. I'd never heard that story. Somebody would have sent me that story if that was happening. I would have seen it someplace. Nowhere. No place at all. So it's horrible. Guys, I'm going to ask you one more time, as I often do. Please donate if you can. Every bit counts. This is also a fundraiser. I'm trying my damnedest to move forward. I know I've slowed down a little bit on shows as because I've been traveling more and making a whole lot more phone calls, trying to move people. I am still trying to look at running in the Republican primary, keeping my libertarian, obviously running libertarian and running with the people. But I'm talking about other parties too. I have other parties I'm also, I can't tell you which ones because we're just in conversation with other parties possibly running there also, so that I can have multiple lines, a libertarian line, with the people line, maybe a couple other party lines, Republican line, and conservative line, all of the Infinity Stones, so that I can be inevitable. That is my goal, right? That's what I want, right? I do want that to be the case, that we can do this. So that takes money. I'm working on that now. If I get enough people to believe in me to make this happen, we can shift this. It is possible, right? It is possible that we can make this work. I'm hoping that it will work. So help out if you can. Oh, wait a minute. I did find I'm sorry. Someone just sent me. Thank you. Someone did send me. Someone actually did send me a link to the actual. Okay. Syracuse. Okay. Let's see here. This happened at the Nutrition Bar Confectioners in Syracuse, New York. So something did actually happen. All righty. One guy was detained. And it doesn't sound like they were divvying them up by race at all so far. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. As I'm looking down, the warrant says illegal immigrants were encountered by the sheriff's office during a traffic stop. That's what it says here, at least. I mean, I'm assuming it. Detained. 134 of the plans from 24 at the time were either using valid security numbers that were not assigned to them or deceased. Okay, so they had false social security. That's a common thing, by the way. For those who don't know, it's very common for immigrants who are coming here to use multiple social security numbers, even if they're legal. Legal people often use it because New York State has decided that you have to pay extra if the person works double shifts. Well, the person wants to work double shifts, but the owner can't afford to pay them. So the owner actually says, I can't pay you, so I need to hire somebody else. He goes, no, don't. I want to work. Don't pay me double. I'll use a secondary social security card. And then the owner goes, oh, okay, great. Then the owner's not paying less. And this is what the people have to get mad. They're scamming. They're not scamming. They're either going to hire another guy or keep paying the same guy. The guy is voluntarily getting a second social security number so he can work more hours because he's here without his family. So he wants to just work. He wants to do double shifts and work 16 hours. The owner's like, you're a good worker. You're going to work. I'd rather just keep paying you. So they make an agreement to get around the law. And now they punish everybody. You go, but Larry, he shouldn't do that. He should pay double. He's not going to. He's going to hire another guy. So this guy can make more money or he can hire another guy. So that happens all the time. So I'm sure that's what happened here. Yes. To see citizens. All right. A warrant permitted to search. Now she said, unless they're lying here, according to this news article, there was a warrant signed by a judge, which Kathy said we won't do anymore, to do it. So it did work. So it allowed for seizure of equipment with making fake IDs or fake records. That's what it was there for. Another warrant permitted to approach and question workers. Okay. I'm looking at this right now. I don't see anything about this. All right. If this is true, I don't know where was the thing of them divvied up by black and white. Do you think CNY Central wouldn't have said anything? And this was January 2nd. So this is 2 weeks ago. I don't see this at all. According to this, maybe there are people lying. According to this that I just saw, this is just something that said, hey, guys went with a warrant signed by a judge to get the people who they found out because they did a traffic stop and found out a fake social security number and went to get the fake social security numbers. Now, I personally don't care about that myself, but I understand it. That doesn't seem like what Kathy Hochul said at all. Is that I don't know. Okay. I'm going to look down here if I can and see some of these here. All righty. Where am I? Okay. Some of these. All right. Brana says, even if the moron tried to excuse the first shots of the fence, there's absolutely no question second, third shots for murder. I agree completely. Again, I think it was wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is when I say we, I shouldn't say we. Leadership could have easily made a situation where this doesn't happen. They set it up this to happen, so of course it would happen, right? So yes, they set up with this right training. They set it up to happen, so it did. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying they could have stopped this. But to Andrew's point, they didn't want to. They didn't want to. I said this on Rogan 8 years ago, and he thought I was crazy. He goes, why don't they stop this? I said, they don't want to. Well, I don't believe that. No, they don't want to. It's 8 years later, and they still haven't. I was right then. I'm right now. Well, Andrew's also right, but yes. Nunes says, just to clarify earlier, I support armed rebellion when it counts. I don't want national divorce. Extremes are arming on both sides. Media elite wants catastrophic event to cause civil war. I'm not sure they want the civil war. They like strife. Strife pays. Strife allows for crackdown. I don't think they actually want to go that far. I think they're trying, Nooner, to just make it a point to where they can just keep cracking down and not get over the top. They're trying to walk a tightrope. And so far, it's working. So far, they're effective. So, yeah. Sherry says, I'm convincing Republicans to vote gold. Please keep going. Yes, 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 yes. Please keep going. Yes. So, Phil says, at Bronner, usually with a semi-automatic pistol, the procedure is to fire until a threat is stopped. Agreed. But the second and third shot, he was at the side. So there was no threat for second and third shot. You could argue first. I don't know. I haven't done detail on this, but you could argue first shot. I think Bronner's correct. You could argue it. And maybe that's where he'll be okay because of the first one. You could argue. But once you're to the side, was she pointing a gun at him or something? I mean, how was he threatened? Remember, only one round went to the front. The other two went to the side. So I'm not sure. Mass Manawa says fleeing does not count as threat. True. Yes, agreed with that. So yeah, 100%. I appreciate that. So I do appreciate what you guys are talking about. So yeah. Bronner says, I keep hearing you have PTSD. Okay, then who was the a-hole who gave him a gun? I agree again completely. This was set up. Look, the guy clearly had issues. Agreed. But they knew he had issues. So why did you put him back in the fray? I'll tell you why. And for those who don't know, because they've set it up to where they have numbers they can't match. And for those who remember, I said this a year ago. A year ago, I said, it is physically impossible to make the numbers that Trump said. Physically, we don't have the bodies, the training, the people, the cars. We're buying planes from defunct Spirit Airlines. I'm not joking. It's really happening. It's impossible. But it's like, they're like, we need to hit those numbers, hit those numbers. You cannot. Well, when you can't hit those numbers, what do? You put anybody you can in the field, including guys like this. This guy shouldn't have been in the field. Again, I keep saying it, a failure of leadership. She shouldn't have had to be there because local police should have made this work better, and he shouldn't have been in the field. And both sides made sure that was going to happen, and that's why he did what he did. I'm not taking away what he did. I'm not. I'm just saying this was the situation that was set up. So, yes, this was done on purpose. Yes. Robert says, I firmly believe the Democrats are not accidentally as ineffective as they are. No argument for me, brother. Democrats have to be politically embodiment of strategic obsolescence. There we go. I completely agree. No fighting. No lies detected. No lies detected. Yes. Shelley says, my daughter's social security number was being used by a Hasidic man. So when she filed her taxes, they flagged her. I told them to check where her social security number was being used. It was an Hasidic factory. Shelley says, Hasidic men do not work with women. Oh, interesting. Well, there we go. Yes, there we go. So this happens often, Shelley. You're right. It happens often. I'm not saying it should, but we're setting up a world where this constantly happens. Again, they don't want to fix it. Right? They don't want to fix it. They're letting it happen that way on purpose. They're letting it happen that way on purpose. So, yes. All righty. Let me grab here if I can. All right. So many. Okay. Adron says, I just read this. Free America Walkout is asking Americans to walk out of work and school on Tuesday, January 20th, to disrupt business as usual to protest the Trump administration. Okay. Is that going to help? I guess. Okay. For those of you who like doing these things, I get it. You want to do something. I understand. It's not going to help. Trump doesn't care at all. I hear this all the time. We got to send a message to him. He doesn't care at all. At all. You could walk out for days. He wouldn't care. Shut the government down for days. He didn't care. He doesn't care. This is just virtue signaling. If you want to have a better government, you should vote for Larry Sharpe. That is the ultimate. You should support me in my endeavors. That is the best thing you can possibly do. I'm a little bit biased, but I'm still correct. Guys, if you can donate, I'd appreciate donation if you can. Also, of course, if you want to, you can volunteer. Don't forget the like button or the repost button or something else. If you haven't already, I hope you have, but if you have not already, please subscribe or follow this channel or page you're watching. It does matter. Absolutely. It's very important you do so if you can. And remember, after this is over, please comment afterwards if you would. Here's what I want you to comment. Comment on what do you think about MLK, even if you think he's a plagiarist. Doesn't matter. Comment on what do you think about MLK. I'll try to respond as best I can. Remember, this is not live when you're watching it. Other videos may pop up. Please watch them right away so I can keep that rhythm going. I'll go. Rhythm. I'll be back on tomorrow night. Sharp way. I will see you all very soon.